Because from an Indian context, there are lots of psychological fears, there's lots of cultural fears and taboos that are there, apart from the technical challenges we have, right? So the first thing I said, I mean, there was a lot of things that I said that our life got automated even before AI was born. The first thing being our initial, what we call in India. In the Western world, they call it surname or last name. So your surname, last name, or your initial is your first algorithm. Do you agree with me? The family you're born determines your life, right? It could be a Patel, it could be a Singh, it could be anybody. So it determines. So that's your first algorithm. And the second one is your culture. Here we call it religion or caste or whatever. That's your first workflow. Because most of your habits, most of the things that you do is determined by your culture that you're born into. And the third thing is the most key thing that I want to cover. Our every day-to-day activities is governed by fear, which gets into us as a default settings. Do you agree? Okay, so our surname, our basic culture, religion, whatever, and our fears that is inherited due to others. So whatever you believe today, I want you to think, was it my own belief or fear, or was it incorporated by someone else? So come along for the next 40 minutes or so with an open mind, because I don't think you have to learn more from all of us today. You have to unlearn most of the things, right? And be here with an open mind. Alright, so this is how my life started, right? Who the hell is Priya? That's how it started. And then I did Sasana and right now hat-trick in India, which is a thing. So I did not start my life as a high-level certified admin. I had a traditional conservative Indian career. As you all know, every Indian is either a doctor or an engineer. I did not even get into options. Okay, I was baptized as Dr. Priya when I was born. And similarly, I thought life had no options. I met a man at 25 years of age and I married him. So I clearly did not know life had options. There was one option, which is to prefix doctor. And I think I hated it. I did not get the required cutoff for my medicine. So I spent 5 years of my prime time completing a PhD in bioinformatics, and I worked as a university lecturer in Chennai. That's the only thing I did in India as a job. Due to a midlife crisis, my husband met with an industrial accident, so life changed. So we had to migrate to another country. I had Australia and Canada. Australia was a very intentional decision. I moved in 2015-16. So one big aha moment, or one huge realization I had after I moved was time equals money. Because here we get a fixed monthly salary, right? So in the Western world, every ticking hour had a dollar value. So what do you do as a migrant? You want to maximize it. You want to make more money because you leave your country, you leave your parents, you go there, you want to make the most of it. So I started doing side hustles, I started doing tutoring, and I started making money. But then you also realize that if I'm going to be trading time for money, I'm going to work till I die, right? So I was this girl in 2018, 2019, how to make money while I sleep in the most legal, ethical way. So I started my side hustle, as most of us veterans, alumni, I started with the One Funnel Away challenge, okay? And one huge outcome I got out of that challenge was I can monetize anything. Because until then, all my side hustles were related to education, teaching, because that's what I thought I was qualified to do, and that's what I thought people would pay me for. So after that, I went into social media marketing agency model, business mentoring. I was doing a lot in the social media marketing space. And then what I did, my business was more of an expensive hobby. I had a 6-figure paycheck, and there were a lot of things. My parents got infected with the most virulent strain of COVID. I couldn't travel, we had travel ban. So that was my biggest kind of epiphany, if you want to say, for me to quit my job in 2021 when my business had made $80,000 all up that entire year, quitting a 6-figure paycheck. So I would say it was not the most wise decision, but I don't regret. So now I say it's big, bold, timely decision is the key. Now when I quit my full-time job in 2021, I was doing business mentoring plus social media marketing. So one key gap I found in the market. So this is how my offers started stacking up, right? It was me doing done-for-you marketing for clients along with business coaching. But then when I found out what is the gap in the market, people did not genuinely have the time to do stuff. So when I give them a strategy, they did not have the time to do. So what I did, I didn't like doing the job, I love doing the strategy, but I didn't want to sit and create social media posts. So at that time, culturally, I found a lot of Indian women, my ex-colleagues from the university, were struggling with unhappy marriages because they quit their career after marriage and children. So I wanted to help such women back home. So I started training Indian women to become financially independent, and right now we have an all-female Indian team. Can I get a full round of applause for my team who are here? They're everywhere. I can't see them, the lights are powerful. But they've been my backbone, they've been supported, and you can see them at the booth supporting all the time. So that is my why, that is my profit with a purpose model. And when clients understand that you have a mission, okay, though I'm based in Australia, when I say my team is comprised of women from India and they are becoming financially independent because of this, they want to be part of that mission. So always making your client feel aligned to a bigger mission than just signing up the offer is also very helpful. Okay? So I was doing that, and when I found GoHighLevel, it solved one key problem for me. I was using 5 or 6 different subscriptions to run my social media marketing business. So I only started selling that one feature called Social Planner. I did not know $97 existed. When I signed up for free trial, I moved 5 of my clients into the CRM, which means I was on a 297 plan right from day one. Right now we've got SaaS. So just that one feature I started selling, and then I'll tell you how I go through the whole flywheel thing. So this is what we do now. We help others who want to get on the platform and succeed. So basically, that's my journey. So with the 10K MRR being our goal for today, for the next 30-40 minutes, I want to give you this prefix. Most of us wait for that perfect moment, perfect day to come. Okay, I'll do this when I get this. I'll do this when my child goes to college. I'll do this when I get married, when my sister gets married. I'm here to tell you, I'm sorry, the ducks are not going to line up. Okay, you have to, like I said, I just jumped off without a backup plan, and I don't regret. So the best time is now. Best time is today. Do not wait for all the ducks to line up. So another huge challenge I find in the market, especially in the coaching niche, because most of you work with coaches, most of the Indians are coaches. So I would say don't try to create a whole program and then try and sell and get disappointed. Every ticking hour of your time is money. So you have to value, you have to factor the time you put into it. So always sell first, create next. Meaning, today all of us have access to social media. If you have an idea, throw it out to the world. If somebody buys, they buy. If not, what do? Next day, scratch that offer, pivot it, change it to the next one. When someone pays you, that's the validation that someone is going to buy. Otherwise, it's an idea in your head which is not validated, right? So always sell first. It could be beta clients, it could be special launch pricing. You can have a fancy term, whatever you want, as long as you can provide value at a subsidized price, and you can sign that client, get that testimonial, build that social proof, and do the whole cycle again and again. Now, there's also the other model that we have pivoted right now in the GoHighLevel ecosystem, because some people who can sell really well, they can't build. Some people are real good builders, they can't sell. There are rare unicorns who can do both. So what we say, try to focus on selling, we will build it for you. So there are so many providers in the ecosystem that can help you with different aspects of GoHighLevel. Okay, so this is about growth. Like I've got a brand called HL Growth Partner. We're going to see how we can grow to a 10K MRR. Would you like a formula?
Yes. Yes.
I'm a teacher, right? And when I created this formula, I was so excited. I was texting people like, oh, that's crazy. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I'm going to give you a clue to guess, all right? So this is something that I really put my head into creating a simple formula. If you look at all my previous talks, I've got a trademark power pivot framework, but I didn't want to talk about it. It's too complex. For India, I wanted a simple formula, execute, actionable things that you can go. Okay? So I'm going to give you a clue, all right? To remember, because it's easy. I'm a teacher. I'll help you to remember stuff. So when Wesley introduces the three co-founders, he always uses the acronym SVR, right? I missed Sean today. So Sean, Varun, Robin, the three co-founders. That's the acronym I'm going to use for the growth formula. Okay? So S, Sean, strategy, and Varun, visibility, and Robin, relationship. So for the next half hour, we're going to look at how can you use the right strategy to get to 10K MRR. How can you use the right visibility techniques, because you need the right offer, right, to sell. That's the strategy. And you can have the best offer in place, but if you're not visible, if people can't find you, then obviously they can't find you, you can't do business. And business is all about building relationship, right? So how do you build that relationship so you can retain? One thing I've done really, really well is retain my existing clients and upsell. I'm going to show you that model, which has worked, all right? So that's the growth formula. What's your growth formula?
SVR.
SVR. All right, cool. So first thing is strategy. All right. So like I said, I promised 5 ways to. There are 50 ways to make money with GoHighLevel. I can tell you there's even more. And everybody in the GoHighLevel ecosystem has different ways of doing things. But I'm going to keep it simple from the start. 5 things that has worked for me. Alright? So first is the SWAS model. Now the SaaS can be a little confusing for people who are starting up. What I did is a software with a service model, which is a fancy word for social media marketing using GoHighLevel. Alright? Anything that you offer with the tool, that is the SWAS model. So all you can do, just Google business management, Google my business profile management, reputation management. Only that people are printing money with that just one feature. Alright, you don't need to know the whole beast platform to make money. Pick one software, pick one feature, pick one service, and then give access to the CRM, and the clients will go and explore, or you can upsell them, and I'm going to tell you how to do that. So that's the very first, quickest way to make money or onboard yourself. All of you have to market yourself. So try using the social planner yourself. Try improving the Google business profile and getting reviews yourself. So I always tell people, you need a demo and you have to create a demo for yourself, and then you can start selling very, very quickly, right? So the first one is the software with the service model. And the second one, this is where you actually get a chunk of money. You can make the 10K MRR pretty simple, even if you charge, say, $2,000 or $2,500, which looks like a big number at the start. Trust me, I was there not long ago. But then when you get that confidence that this is the value that I bring to the table, even 20,000 becomes easier. And I know people in India who charge that money for the setup fee. So there's a one-off setup fee that you can charge clients to set up custom whatever they want. It could be migrating their funnels from another platform. It could be migrating their contacts from MailerLite, MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, whatever, and do just a database reactivation campaign. There are very simple things that you can charge a one-time setup fee to make that recurring income. All right? And then, obviously, the monthly subscription. When they come on the platform, they have to pay a subscription fee for the platform. SaaS, people do really, really well with SaaS when they've found a niche. But I want to pause here and say, you don't need a niche to start off. When you're starting off, don't go chasing a niche. Go broad and go experiment with multiple niches to understand if you are signing 10 clients in one niche, then double down on that niche and grow. Okay? So when I did my workshop with Paulson, I said, my niche is GoHighLevel. I don't have a niche. Anyone using GoHighLevel is my niche. Okay? So you create your own niche. You become creative. So So in the SaaS model, you can definitely go, once you find out, it becomes easy to scale. I know one of my friends, she has really drilled down in the hair and beauty industry. So she's a Facebook ads expert, and she has created snapshots very specific for hair and beauty industries. She's got a standard. They have to have minimum $30,000 to $40,000 every month as income, and they have to spend minimum ad money with her, and she promises a particular number of bookings per month, and she's doing extremely well because the process becomes scalable once you create snapshots. I don't like the S word, but it works. Snapshots work. If you've found your industry, if you found a proven framework, and if you can snapshot it together, you can scale very, very quickly. But I would say this would be the last step once you understand the other models. Now, upsells. I'm going to give you a case study to help you understand how you can upsell once you get a client to pay you a one-off setup fee, one-off a monthly retainer. How do you upsell them and add value? So that is another thing that you can find out. And affiliate. This is the easiest way to create a recurring revenue. Okay? So affiliate, everybody who signs up using anyone's link, GoHighLevel incentivizes the person who brought them into the ecosystem. You don't pay extra. It comes from GoHighLevel's pocket, it's not from your pockets. You still pay $97, $297, $497, but it's an incentive for affiliate. You don't need to have an account to become an affiliate, all right? So every month, once you start using it, then as long as they stay on the platform, you get that recurring revenue. For all these offers, I want to give you one food for thought. There's something called USP, unique selling proposition. All of us in this room, imagine, we all use GoHighLevel, okay? So it doesn't mean I'm going to compete with him, all right? People want to do business with you because they align with your values, they know, like, and trust you. Okay, people want to do business with me because they know, like, and trust me. No one is a competitor for anyone. I want to anchor that, all right? So it's a very bloody abundant universe. All of us can enjoy a very nice share of our pie. So do not step on each other's toes and try to, snatch. Because I understand India is a very competitive market, so people tend to do a lot. I have a pricing model racing to the bottom. Do not do that. Okay, the pretty journal that I printed, please come from my book. People said you should charge for it, sell it for $20, $30. I'm like, if I'm going to position myself by selling you something for $20, I can never invoice you for $2,000 in my life. Right? Am I right? Because I positioned my brand for $20, right? So always have this. It'll be nice when you start off and when you're thinking, I can sell for $27, $37, $47 to get clients. But once you position yourself at that pricing, it's very hard to raise the bar and articulate the value you bring to the table for a high-ticket client. That's brand positioning. All right? So most of us operate from that scarcity mindset, or we just want to sign, or because our brain needs that win, we try to do anything or negotiate and do a basic to the bottom pricing model, and then struggle to level up from there because you have positioned your brand at that pricing. I want you to be very, very careful when you're doing that. Okay? So the 10K MRR, when you think about it, it's not one of this. It could be a combination of this, because that's what worked for me, right? So it could be a few dollars, a few hundreds of affiliate coming through. It could be a few thousands of one-off setup fee coming through. There could be a retainer coming through, and all of the SaaS modes that are coming through. So it is a combination of value stack of one or more of these. If you're confident to charge $2,000 per client, then you have to break it down as a reverse engineer. You only need 5 clients, meaning per week I need to sign 1 client. Okay, 1.5 to be exact, but 1 client. So how do I get 1 client? Okay, I say the analogy, the more hands you shake, the more money you make. But make sure you shake the right hand, right? That's the key. When you shake the right hand, what you do? You open the GoHighLevel app. This is the simplest thing you can do. It's got a default feature where it can scan the business card. When you go to meetings, when you go to networking, you shake a hand, you can show a demo very, very quickly. Take the business card, scan the business card. It's a native feature of GoHighLevel. It extracts the name, email, phone number. Not always accurate, so please check. And then you can simply add a tag. I used to be part of the BNI network. BNI in India is very different, right? So I used to be part of BNI in Australia. So I had a tag called BNI network. So if I'm meeting you at an event, I'll add your name, I'll add the tag BNI network. Immediately it triggers an event to say your first name, hi Gaurav, hi Raji, it was lovely to meet you at BNI this morning. This is a little bit about what I do. I would love to have a conversation. This is my call, this is my calendar, please book a time, let's have a chat. In 10 seconds, what happens? Your email gets into their inbox, so always you can nudge them whatever you want, and then their contact gets into your CRM, because I know lots of handbags with hundreds of business cards that never gets anywhere. Alright? Okay. That's the different ways that you can hit the 10K MRR mark. When it comes to offer, people always ask, what do I sell? How do I sell? First thing, foot in the door. When people came and spoke to me at the booth, they're like, oh, I don't need the platform because I'm doing all of this. One thing I asked, what do you use? How many tools do you use? So they use 5 different tools to do their email marketing, social media marketing, their calendar is on Calendly, they use different stuff for, sales funnels, they use Tag Manager. There's so many different things that you use. So all of this combined into one powerful platform that can automate and nurture. So once you show them the whole journey, how much you can consolidate, replace monthly subscription, it becomes a no-brainer. So you don't try to sell the software to them. You ask them, what do they want? What is one quick win you can give to that customer? That is your foot in the door offer. It could simply be one person paying MailChimp hundreds of dollars just to have a contact, and they're not even mailing them, right? More than 1,000 contacts. So you say, this is one thing that I can solve, and much more, right? So the client will tell you exactly their pain point, and you said just the one thing. Don't try to sell the whole CRM. This is where people go wrong. You talk about 100 different things where you've lost the client. Meet the client where they're at. They will tell you exactly what their pain points are, solve that one problem, get your foot in the door, and then you can go out and see, upsell them, and retain them. Okay? So that's kind of the model that has worked for me. Like I said, it's my personal experience. I always try to get the foot in the door, and then upsell, and then try to retain, because cost of acquiring a new client is extremely high. So I try and keep my existing clients happy. All right. So there are different like I said, there are 100 ways to run the businesses. So what's worked, what I've seen have worked, is a completely service agency. It could be the SWAS model, like I said, the software with the service kind of a model, or it could be the fulfillment implementation kind of model, or you could just do a SaaS, or you could do a hybrid model of both, which is what we do. All right, so that's the strategy, which is, what is strategy? What is strategy? Sean. Okay, so we finished Sean. Now we're going to Varun, right? Varun is visibility. All right. So when we talk about visibility of marketing, this is the marketing principle, right? When I heard this for the first time, it gave me anxiety. Like, people have to interact with their content like 7 hours, you need 11 touch points, and you need 4 different platforms. But if you're doing the marketing right, which I'm going to show you in the relationship aspect, it becomes very much achievable, because most of us are on multiple platforms. You post a story on Instagram and Facebook, that's one of the touch points. And then if you post on LinkedIn, that's another one. Okay, if you post on WhatsApp stories, that's another one. You send an email, you handshake at an event, you quickly get to that touch points very, very easily if you plan your strategy right. And the tool gives you everything to do that. So for us, what's worked for us very well, okay? The first one, what we do for the social media management clients, the 21st of every month, we send out an email. So we've got a separate tag for them. 21st of every month, there's an email that goes, hi, first name, the team is ready to prepare your social media content for the next month, right? Is there any specific content that you want on a specific day? Because they could be like industry engagement, like, for example, if it is an allied health, like a World Physio Day, Are You OK Day, Suicide Prevention Day, there could be industry-specific days that they want a content to go on. What it gives the client the perception that the team is actually checking on them, they feel seen and heard when it's an automated workflow, right? So that actually helped us to become more visible by these touch points. And we do have growth calls. Growth calls are very important. It depends how busy you are, how much you can do. I don't schedule it in the calendar. Depending on the client calls, there are a few clients that I get on impromptu. There are a few clients that come for monthly group coaching sessions. We do weekly free coaching calls. We do a lot of stuff. So these are different touch points that I have to nurture my current clients and retain, because even your current clients needs that visibility on what you do. If there's an upgrade, if you're doing something different, they need to know that, right? So I'm going to give all of this information, what has worked, in the relationship section. Okay, so Varun is done nice and quick. Next is Robin, relationship, all right? So I want you to think every client that comes into your business, not as a single service, meaning one-off. They come, you do the service, off they go. I want you to think as the strategic partner, meaning I have no boundaries with clients. I don't know if I should be ashamed to say this, but 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, if I think about something, and if I get super excited, like I said, I text them, and it's because you always think when you see something, this could be helping that client. So that's the reason I've got these cohort of clients who have a very good relationship with me, and I'm going to share how I do that with one case study that has worked really well. So this is an ice cream, shop on the Gold Coast, right? So I met her at a competitor's event, right? And that's one tip: go to a competitor's event to coach clients to high-level. All right. So I was on my free trial with GoHighLevel, and they were teaching to build funnels using another software. And so I was sitting there, and because I've done the work, so I was just teaching everybody on my table, like a round table like this, how to do it. And the person who was running that event had an upsell of $17,000 or $18,000 for each of them. There were like 100 people in the room. So she went out, she and her son were at the event. She went out and she heard the upsell. She came back and said, Priya, I know you're going to reach to that stage of charging $15,000 or $80,000. You're just starting now with some of the tools. I don't care what tool you use, but I love the whole big strategy and ideas you give. Can you implement this for me? That was my first $5,000 setup fee I received across the table during my free trial. Okay? The reason? Value before dollars. I didn't try to pitch. I tried to articulate what I bring to the table, and it's more like attraction marketing. You can call it, that's a fancy term I used when I was in social media marketing. Attraction marketing, getting inbound leads, value before dollars. There are different terminologies you can go fancy on how you want to position it. So that was the very first sale I got for GoHighLevel, other than my 5 clients on social media that's existing, right? And then, so we brought her into GoHighLevel, we built a funnel, and then what? I told her, you have funnel, how do you bring traffic? Like, she didn't want to run paid ads. All right, I said, let's do social media marketing for you. Monthly social media marketing, we signed up on a retainer. So there's a monthly retainer that goes on, right? And then what happens? She was on Shopify for no reason, and she got a bill for, I don't know, 2,500 US, 2,700 US. And I told her, you're already paying for the software, and we can do your website rebuild inside this particular platform. So when you have this conversation and growth calls, you try to find out what challenges they're facing, what's their pain point, and then you can upsell them to solve their exact pain point. I didn't try to sell them what I want. It's their pain point I'm solving, right? So that's a one-off setup fee. And then there's a retainer continuing again. And then she wanted to expand. So we started franchise at the Townsville. So she wanted to create like a coffee card loyalty program option, completely done using GoHighLevel. Okay, that's another setup. And then the retainer continues. So I just want to show you the whole model. So this happened over a course of 2 years, I would say, not immediately, but over the course of 2 years. And then during winter, Australia is different, so we had winter in June, July. So the sales kind of dropped, so we started to brainstorm what can we do. And we launched like a picnic box. We had a name for that, fancy name. So basically it was just all the different sauces, strawberries, waffles and stuff for picnic. For winter, they can use, instead of, just the chips and dips and stuff. So that product we launched, that was another setup, and then it goes on from ongoing partnership. The reason I'm saying this is it's not necessarily you always go and push them to upsell. It's about having that different touch points to understand their pain points and then upsell. So when you look at this model, I am focusing on MRR when it comes to the monthly recurring revenue because of the retainer, but there's another factor called LTV, which is lifetime value of a client, right? So when you focus and do the work right, and when you try to retain a lot of clients in the right way, the lifetime value of a client increases. And this is why I say, when you believe or when you think you can't sign somebody for $2,000, you'll be surprised how much, when you deliver it the right way, they will upsell themselves. It's the brand positioning. How do you position your brand? How do you think about them? And how can you add value to them every time they talk to you, or every time you meet them, or every content you post for them? So it's always value before dollars. When they see the value, trust me, people would love to stay loyal. They don't want to change providers. If they're happy and comfortable with you, nobody will want to change providers because it is a pain. Okay? Alright, so the engagement part. This is the most important thing. And I think in Dallas, this is one thing that people said it helped them the most. Most people say, or all of us would have heard, fortune is in the follow-up, correct? So most of us relate the follow-up only to the lead scenario because we think there are people who have never paid us, so I'm going to chase them until they pay, right? But there's also fortune in following up your existing clients, like I said, right? So how are you going to keep them engaged? So one thing that's worked very well for me, I'm not disciplined when it comes to going to the gym. I'm very, very disciplined when it comes to my newsletter. Rain or shine, wherever I am admitted in hospital, I have sent out my newsletter Monday morning, 9 a.m. Brisbane. Which weirdo sends a newsletter on a Monday morning, 9 a.m.? Well, me. I'll do that. The reason being, my newsletter is a compilation of things that's benefiting my newsletter people on the list, right? So I kind of peacock, okay, show off. In the first two paragraphs, that's where it's relationship building. I talk about the good, bad, ugly, very, very vulnerable, open. I celebrate my wins. I share stuff that I don't share on social media to my newsletter list. That's where people build relationships, right? It's about that building that relationship, that touch point. And when I share my wins, it also tells them the latest advancements we do for other clients and case studies, and then you get response. So in Brisbane, 9.04 to 9.28, I would receive minimum 3 to 4 replies. This is being the standard, right? We've had open rate up to 67%, all right? So I've had a very, very engaged newsletter list, thank you. And the reason being, it is a very fixed template that we follow. So it's a list of events that happen in Australia, because most of my clients are based in Australia. Events that happen in Australia, grants, business grants that are open, business awards that are open, and then anything else that can value add to them. Always think about what's in it for them. Okay, obviously that lead you want to convert, but how do you want to convert them in the most non-salesy, pushy way? Any calls that get booked through my newsletter is 100% conversion, right? Because they're already taught enough to book a call. They already know everything. They're just checking if we are the fit or if there's anything that they want to ask a question, right? So one form of content that will help you nurture your current clients and your prospects. Even people on the fence actually convert when they subscribe to the newsletter. All right. The next one is the community. So GoHighLevel, or the GoHighLevel community option, is great for you to funnel people in. I mean, I'm guilty of not too many communities, but I don't think we're active on most. One we're trying to do now, because I do these free office hours, community office hours, Friday morning, 9 a.m. Sucker for 9 a.m., I guess. Friday morning, people can join, ask questions, and any help they want, they can ask. So we actually drive traffic to a community on GoHighLevel, and we offer lots of free trainings, courses, and stuff, snapshots for people to help and grow. So when you create a community, what happens? Our community official page is a great way, right? When someone asks a question of being unreasonable, there's a whole community that backs up because they know it's genuine and they support and lift each other up. So in an age of AI, in the world of so much technology, so much information, I think forming a community that will support and lift each other up is really, really important. So if you can, when you can, I would highly recommend bringing people together with like-minded people trying to strive for the same outcome is highly encouraged. And the last one is education. So mainly because I love teaching, as you can see, the free coaching clubs, community coaching clubs, it's how it fits into your calendar, because I've spoken about a lot of things, right? So I drive my time into 3 things, okay? This will interest most of you. Income, which is we all need money to pay bills, it's not a hobby, right? Income is key. So every activity, every handshake, every conversation I have, my expectation is clear. I'll put you into one bucket, all right? So if you are a prospect, if it's a direct relationship, I'll put you into my income bucket. I will have nothing stopping me from telling you about my office and the financials involved. I work with a lot of community organizations in Australia, multicultural organizations, and when I go there, I don't go there with an intention to sell. So they come under my impact bucket. So my expectation is clear that I'm going to trade this time for that community organization. It's a volunteering work, so I'm not going to expect anything monetary in return because that comes under my impact. And then whatever I do for popularity and fame, that comes under my influence bucket, okay? So income, impact, influence. So most of the people who are successful monetarily, sometimes they struggle because they don't have that, impact aspect sorted. So I think from the get-go, even before money was a thing or a priority for me, I kind of channeled my activities into a lot of community services in Australia, and also did all my podcasts, everything, YouTube, all the influence aspect. So when you get like a Venn diagram, all these 3 collide, I think you find your happy medium and the expectation is clear. So every relationship you build is very clear, because I think most conflicts, most panchayat happens in relationship because of the expectation mismatch. So when your expectations are clear, this is a client and this is a commercial relationship, then you behave, you set your boundaries, and you do stuff. If it's a voluntary work and you're doing it for the community, then your expectation is clear. All right? So I really want you all to understand that very much the 10K months is doable. There's a lot of things that the platform allows. And finally, because it's India, I want to highlight the certified admin program. Okay? I want to put this in the last one because a lot of people came and spoke to me. So that is, I'm a certified admin. The reason I did it was because I needed that validation, right? I have a PhD in mathematics, and everyone on Facebook is a GHN expert, right? So I'm like, no, I don't want to be that one. So I wanted to really validate myself. So I sat for the exam, part A, part B, I proctored, and get me certified because I needed that external validation. And then I found out the benefits of that. Right? You get leads directly from the directory, and it's an endorsement directly by the platform. So if any of you are serious about getting yourself endorsed, getting yourself leads, getting yourself into the platform, feel free to sign up for the GoHighLevel certified program. It is a good way. $97 a month feels like a lot. What do you do if you get a client for $4,000? Will you say no? Yeah, $97 means nothing when you get that return on investment. And every investment you make, it's your responsibility to take the money back. I think culturally, we are conditioned easy to point finger at somebody, right? So before you point that one finger, please do point 4 finger at yourself. Ask a question, because blaming makes you feel good, but it doesn't help you, right? So always think, if I'm going to blame somebody, is it going to help me? No. So that's why I get very critical about myself, but I blame myself too much. But I think what I want to say is when you do an investment, it's your ultimate responsibility to take that return on investment. There's plenty of resources available, and mentally we are trying, or we tend to focus on lack of resources. Because I'm in India, this is happening. Because I'm here, this is happening. We try to do that in a self-sabotage mode. So don't try to complain about lack of resources. Try to be resourceful with what you have. Alright? I'm happy to give away every snapshot, every template, anything you want. I have created this SVR formula. I've created a beautiful journal. I spent months making it. Please come to our booth. It's free. I'm not selling anything. Please come to our booth, talk to us, get the journal. It's a 90-day operating system that we've built for agencies to get maximum value. All I want you to do is give me a promise that you will implement and win. Ideas are cheap, right? Information is everywhere. If you don't implement, you can go to 100 of these events like Tony Robbins and jump and hit yourself on the chest, but nothing will happen, right? Unless you go back home and implement. So from every speaker that you learned today, I want you to go and implement at least one thing today. Alright, and see you win. So come and see me at the booth and we will help you win with the SVR formula. Thank you.
All right.